Marcus had married into my family's estate, a specific live-in marriage arrangement. To protect his pride, I was endlessly patient with him and loved him deeply. Yet, he took advantage of my patience, acting more and more recklessly, completely disregarding my dignity. I saw him again, entangled in a flirtatious interaction with another woman. Finally, I couldn't hold back and exploded. Marcus felt no shame about it. Instead, he publicly declared his love for the other woman. Marcus and I had known each other since elementary school, going through middle school and high school, even sharing classes sometimes. We were childhood sweethearts. After graduating from college, we got married. However, it wasn't me marrying him, but him entering into a specific live-in marriage arrangement with my family's estate. At that time, Uncle had a failed business. Relying on the bond we shared from growing up together, he sought my family's support to save his company, which had fewer than 100 employees. He even proposed Marcus enter into a specific live-in marriage arrangement as a sign of respect for my family's estate. Of course, my family didn't agree. But I truly liked him, so my family said that as long as Marcus agreed to the specific live-in marriage arrangement, they would consent to our marriage. I knew this was just my family's way of making me see the true nature of his family. Besides, given Marcus's arrogant personality, I didn't have any expectations. To my surprise, Marcus actually agreed to the specific live-in marriage arrangement. At this, my parents had nothing more to say. Uncle was desperate for Marcus to enter my family's estate so he could secure the investment. So, the wedding was arranged hastily. I knew people around us would talk about his entering into the specific live-in marriage arrangement, especially since they were all people we had known since childhood. I spent money and effort to ensure they wouldn't mention it. After we married, I tried my best to tolerate him. Even though he seemed like a different person after the wedding, I kept compromising, attributing it to his shattered pride. But he became increasingly outrageous, eroding my love, and I filed for divorce. Marcus and I set a time to sign the divorce agreement. He arrived, bringing a woman with him. I was no longer affected by him in the slightest, but it was truly disappointing that he brought an irrelevant person to the day our marriage was supposed to end. Where's the divorce agreement? Sign it quickly. Don't waste my time, I need to go have a drink with my sweetheart, he said, stroking the woman's face. I pushed the 2 copies of the divorce agreement across the table to him. He picked them up and looked. I hadn't signed yet, and he probably thought I was, as before, just trying to get him to pay attention to me. The disgust in his eyes was obvious, as if he was tired of being forced to play a role with me. He picked up the pen to sign. You should probably look at the agreement's contents, I kindly reminded him. What's there to see? Your games are sickening. There's nothing else of note. Since you entered into a specific live-in marriage arrangement, this house is yours, I said, holding his hand. The words specific live-in marriage arrangement seemed to rip away his pretense. He yanked his hand away. You think you're so smart, don't you? How can you be so disgusting, Grace? He barely spared me a glance, signed his name with 2 quick strokes, and threw the divorce agreement down in front of me, creating a small gust of wind. Don't forget to pick up the divorce certificate this time next month. He seemed to realize I was serious this time, but as soon as the woman in his arms whimpered, that flicker of unusual emotion vanished. Looking at the divorce agreement, this marriage I had desperately sought, yet which was full of thorns, was finally coming to an end. I sat numbly for a long time, then got up to pack my things. Alto. We had been married for 3 years, our accumulated belongings were still numerous. I refused the housekeeper's help. I wanted to actively draw a clear line between Marcus and me, little by little, in every aspect. That evening, Marcus uncharacteristically returned home, smelling of perfume. Over the past 3 years, I had grown accustomed to Marcus coming home with different perfumes. At first, I used to make a scene, but it was useless. In fact, the more I argued, the worse he became. We stood facing each other in silence. Suddenly, Marcus noticed the suitcases in the corner. He immediately flew into a rage. Grace, are you really that eager to leave? We're not divorced yet. Who are you so desperate to run off to? I knew he was losing his mind. I frowned and didn't respond. Tell me, are you cheating on me? Are you? He shook my shoulders, his grip so strong it felt like he might crush them. Marcus, calm down. I managed to say, fighting off nausea. How can I calm down? My wife is out looking for other men, and you ask me how to calm down? What will people think of me? Is your family so high and mighty that you can just stomp all over my dignity? Who exactly was stomping on whose dignity? If could lose his mind over baseless suspicions, Then hadn't my actions over the past few years brought utter disgrace to my parents? I was shaken to my core. I realized that by offering my heart to Marcus only for him to casually trample it, he wasn't just hurting me, but also my parents and the entire family's estate. Before, I had been consumed by self-pity, never once considering how much gossip my parents had endured behind their backs because of a daughter like me, or how many people had secretly mocked and ridiculed them. My face fell, and I was overwhelmed with regret, but thought I was upset because he had hit a nerve. Are you that desperate for a man, Grace? I'll teach you a lesson today, or my name isn't Marcus. With that, he dragged me into the bed room and pushed me onto the bed. I reacted, struggling violently and screaming. I knew I couldn't match his strength. I flailed my limbs and twisted my body, refusing to give him a chance to force himself on me. I struggled so hard that he ended up hurting himself. For a moment, he was at a loss. I took advantage of his distraction and kicked him several times, incapacitating him. Grace, you're quite something. Don't let me catch you cheating, or I won't let you off. If you won't comply, there are plenty of others who will. He finished his cruel words and stormed out of the bedroom. He immediately turned back. Until you get the divorce certificate, you'd better not go anywhere, or I'll never divorce you. A loud bang echoed from the front door. This time, he was truly gone. My body relaxed. Confronting so calmly for the first time didn't feel bad at all. To ensure a smooth divorce without any more trouble, I dutifully stayed home, waiting for the day we would pick up the divorce certificate. To my surprise, the next day, Marcus brought another woman home, not the same one from the day we signed the divorce agreement. This one, he carefully supported, as if she might shatter if he wasn't gentle. Grace, this is Daisy. We went to the same college. She's carrying my child, and her family isn't around here. I plan to have her move into the family's estate. You and the house staff need to take good care of her. Also, you need to prepare a special tonic for Daisy every day. After all, she's carrying my child. Since we're not divorced yet, my child is essentially yours, so you should take good care of him. Daisy is suffering the pain of pregnancy on your behalf, so you should be even more dedicated. I understood every word Marcus said, but strung together, they sounded like a cruel joke. Marcus, Grace might not be able to accept this right away. You don't need her to take care of me. I've been helping my family with chores since I was little, so I'm quite sturdy. Giving me a place to stay is enough. I don't demand anything else. I just don't want our child to be unwanted like I was. She leaned against Marcus and started crying, pretending to rub her eyes, though not a single tear fell. Marcus believed her. Grace, you'd better take good care of Daisy as I said, or you can forget about getting a divorce. So, I'd just be a laughingstock for a few more days, right? I'd endure it. But is this child even yours that you're so quick to claim it? Grace, please believe me, this child is Marcus's. Here's the medical report. Do you believe it now? You'll personally go select the special tonic. If the house staff neglects Daisy, they're neglecting my child too. So, he's acknowledging this as his child? What about my child? What about the child he disliked, the one he pushed me and caused me to miscarry? I showed him the pregnancy test, but he didn't believe I was pregnant, thinking I was just trying to manipulate him into coming back. I gave him the medical report, but he thought I was tricking him with someone else's, even though my name was on it. I pleaded with him, wanting him to accompany me to the checkup, like other pregnant women at the hospital who had their husbands by their side. He impatiently pushed me away. I lost my footing and fell to the ground, blood pooled on the ground. He still thought I was playing tricks, and he walked away without a backward glance to enjoy himself with others. At that time, none of the house staff or drivers were home. I begged him to take me to the hospital, but he pried my hand open and left me there alone. I had to call a taxi myself. Although the driver was kind enough to help me into the car and drive me to the emergency room, it was ultimately too late. The baby couldn't be saved. Later, when my belly didn't show, he became even more convinced I was deceiving him. He didn't believe the hospital admission papers I showed him either, flying into a huge rage and not coming home for over half a month afterward. Thinking of my baby, who was less than 2 months along, and the shock of this pregnant woman, I truly didn't want to stay in this house for another second. Fine, I'll go buy it. Of course, I wouldn't just buy that woman the special tonic. I'd have to suffer in silence for a while, but everything else I bought would be food for everyone. The housekeeper looked at me, hesitating to speak. I knew what she was thinking, but I didn't explain. Sure enough, when the housekeeper and I returned home, laden with bags, Marcus confronted me. I quickly explained that everything was for the pregnant woman's nutrition, and he shut up. That evening, I brought Daisy the special tonic. She intentionally fumbled with it, pretending I was bullying her. Grace, I know I came between you and Marcus, but we genuinely love each other, and we have a child now. I understand if you're upset or dislike me, but please, could you not hurt me? This special tonic is very hot, and if I get burned, it wouldn't be good. The doctor said to avoid medication during pregnancy. She said, feigning tears. Grace, what are you doing? He hadn't finished when I cut him off. Am I deliberately trying to hurt her, or is she trying to frame me? There's a surveillance camera in the dining room, why not just check the footage? Why yell at me the moment you open your mouth? We're not even divorced yet. I sneered at him, and Daisy, the woman, turned pale with fright. Marcus, I'm sorry, I didn't see clearly and unfairly accused Grace. It's all my fault. I was just too worried about the baby. It was that fake crying act again. Even though there was a surveillance camera in the dining room, I was just bluffing, and she immediately revealed her true colors. Marcus still had some sense, knowing the woman was behind it. But unexpectedly, he actually turned to accuse me. Grace, Daisy is pregnant and already emotionally sensitive. You were clearly malicious towards her, and she must have sensed it, which is why she accidentally knocked over the bowl. Do you have no grace at all? How can you be the lady of the house? Apologize to Daisy. Lady of the house? Marcus was truly losing his mind. While I was willing to indulge them for now, they weren't qualified to deliberately torment me. Humph. I scoffed, turning to leave. Suddenly, I was yanked backward with great force, pushed down and forced to bow 90 degrees to the woman. I wanted to look back and see the face of this man, who was still my husband, for making me bow 90 degrees and apologize to a mistress. The moment I stirred, he pressed my head down, forcing my gaze to the floor, as low as it could go. Apologize to Daisy. Marcus pressed down on me. If I didn't apologize, he seemed ready to push me through the floor. A wave of uncontrollable humiliation surged within me. This man, who had grown up with me and been my husband for 3 years, was now forcing his wife to humiliatingly apologize to his mistress. Marcus, let go of Grace. How can a young lady like her endure such humiliation? She's just too used to being a spoiled young lady, which is why she doesn't even know how to apologize. Daisy, don't worry about it. You're too kind-hearted to tolerate how she treats you. I'm going to teach her a lesson today. He finished gently to the woman, then barked at me to apologize to her. Resisting's hand, I frantically searched for something I could use to fight back, but there was nothing I could grab with one hand. To escape him, I could only humiliatingly apologize to the woman. Grace, what did you say? Louder. Did you eat so much you swallowed your tongue? I'm sorry. There, that's better, isn't it? Wife, I'm doing this for your own good. An apology always helps, he said, releasing me. I looked at Marcus, and he seemed stung by my gaze, unable to meet my eyes. Marcus, I'm a little tired. Could you help me to rest? Perhaps the impact of my gaze still lingered, because WHE. And the woman asked to stay in my room. Marcus refused. He gently helped her to the guest bedroom, all the while badmouthing me, claiming that the room I stayed in had unlucky vibes and might harm their child. He didn't notice the woman's dark expression, though. I sensed something and quietly made a mental note. Back in the bedroom, my emotions finally found an outlet. I buried my face in my pillow, sobbing until it was soaked. Even though my emotions had mostly vented, my tear ducts still couldn't stop the tears from flowing. Perhaps it was late at night, and the woman was asleep, but Marcus returned to the master bedroom. The moment he entered, he tried to hug me, but I dodged him. Perhaps he felt the tear-soaked pillow, because he was unusually gentle. Grace, I was wrong earlier. You know Daisy is carrying my child. If you don't apologize to her and she gets upset, it won't be good for the baby inside her. That's my flesh and blood. You wouldn't want anything to happen to him, would you? Seeing I didn't answer, he continued, once gives birth, you'll be the baby's mother, and we'll have our own child. Aren't you happy? Did he really think the divorce agreement I made him sign was fake? Grace, speak, he roared at me. I thought we could continue as before, until the divorce, but why did Daisy appear in the middle of it all, turning him into a different person who treated me like this? His shouting only stimulated my tear ducts further, and tears streamed down my face. I looked at him. He seemed startled by my appearance and gently wiped my cheeks with a tissue. Wife, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have yelled at you. Let's sleep. He patted my back. It was the first time he had been so kind to me, so kind it felt as if we truly were a loving couple. But I knew he had done all of this before for others. I had no idea how many women he had sweet-talked with this method outside before it was finally my turn, his legal wife. Though I didn't need it and found it disgusting. Marcus slept in the master bedroom that night. Daisy, of course, knew this. To demonstrate her power in front of me, she coaxed Marcus into feeding her and wiping her mouth and hands. She looked at me triumphantly when Marcus took out the trash. Seeing her like that, I actually felt a little secretly pleased. Marcus saw me as a disgrace, yet the woman he truly cherished was such a petty, unsophisticated person. Marcus, today's the day for my checkup. Could you help me see if I have everything ready? You're such a scatterbrain, Marcus said, dotingly stroking Daisy's head, then went to check her belongings. After left, Daisy's expression indeed changed, becoming harsh and calculating. Grace, you'd better quietly divorce Marcus and not cause any trouble, or I won't let you off. Of course I'm divorcing him. Can't you even wait a month? Why are you in such a hurry? Say whatever you want, but you'd better do as you say. You won't take anything from this house, it's all mine. Don't worry, I won't fight for the house. After all, this house was the least valuable asset I owned. I just wondered if Daisy was really as ignorant as she appeared. But I was definitely going to get revenge for yesterday's humiliation on both of them. Good, you know your place. Marcus, are you done checking? Let's go. She linked her arm through Marcus's and turned back, specifically saying to me, then, you can tidy up the house. Alright, even though there was a housekeeper, she acted as if she couldn't see her. Perhaps she knew I wouldn't do it myself and was just saying it to annoy me. When returned from her checkup, she deliberately came over to me and showed me her medical report and ultrasound scan. There was nothing discernible on the reports, yet she could ramble on for over 10 minutes. Grace, do you not like hearing me talk about these things? I just wanted to share my joy with you. Grace, the doctor said Daisy shouldn't have any major emotional fluctuations. She's sharing her joy with you, you should just be happy for her. Who are you putting on that face for? Can you afford to be responsible if you harm the baby inside her? Now, apologize to Daisy. I'm truly sorry, I can't quite empathize. How about I get you a glass of water? You've been talking for quite a while. Daisy still wanted to try her manipulative tactics on me, but Marcus surprisingly agreed with what I said, not giving her a chance. It seems making you apologize was quite effective. You've even learned to pour water for guests now. That single sentence made Daisy's face turn pale, and her fingers clenched tight. Marcus, am I just a guest to you now? She said, tears streaming down her face, appearing so quiet and pitiful. Of course not, Daisy. You're carrying my child, you're the mother of my child, so you're certainly not a guest. Your husband said the wrong thing, I'm sorry. Hit me if you want, just don't be angry anymore. It wouldn't be good for your health, and you have our baby inside you, remember? The doctor said you can't have emotional fluctuations. Marcus couldn't console her, no matter how hard he tried, and finally gave in. What can I do to make you happy? Anything within my power, I'll do it. Really, Marcus? Really? I want to live in the master bedroom. Marcus's expression was unreadable, and he didn't immediately agree. If I live in the master bedroom, Marcus won't call me a guest anymore, right? Okay, if you want to live in the master bedroom, then move in. Grace, go pack your things. Daisy will move in tonight. I glanced at Marcus and nodded. Grace, I'm sorry, I'm just so upset. I'm taking your room, but the doctor said I can't have emotional fluctuations. Please, Grace, bear with me for Marcus's child's sake. If you want to live in the master bedroom, then live there. No need to humble yourself to her. After finished comforting Daisy, he turned to me and said, it's a hurried move today, so just move directly into the guest bedroom where Daisy was staying. This would work out, making it easier for me to arrange to deal with these two shameless people. Seeing my nod, Daisy happily bounced off to pack her things. When saw her, he naturally showered her with more affection and care. I have to admit, she was quite skilled. It was just a shame that her opponent was someone who didn't share her goals. Before I had even finished packing, Daisy happily flopped onto the master bedroom bed. Just pack a few things, why take so much? Hurry up and leave, don't bother Daisy. With defending her so much, she indeed flashed a triumphant smile at me. I pulled my suitcases into the guest bedroom. The moment I opened the door, I smelled a strange odor. I searched around and found a used condom wrapper in the trash can. So, this was why Daisy had been so cheerful earlier? I opened the window, then threw the trash, along with the trash can, into the bathroom. I had no time for anything else. Yesterday, with Marcus around, I couldn't contact anyone. Today, they had created the perfect conditions for me. I had to avenge that humiliation. For now, I could let Daisy off, seeing as she was pregnant. But I would show no mercy. I got my friends to obtain videos of Marcus with other women and anonymously sent them to Uncle, as well as to the employees of his company. Immediately after I did this, Marcus came looking for me. The moment I opened the door, he slapped me. "You bitch. Was it you? Was it you?" He cursed and hit me, tearing at my hair. "Let go. What are you talking about? Let go. Let go." I screamed and struggled genuinely, and he stopped assaulting me. I crouched down, hugging myself. He sobered up. "Grace, did you make those videos?" "What videos?" I asked, trembling. "The ones sent to my uncle." "I haven't contacted your uncle. If you don't believe me, check my phone." I handed him my phone. He actually checked it, found nothing, then returned it to me, mumbled an apology, and left. After being beaten, aside from wanting to destroy him, I was even happier that he had given me an opportunity to sue him. I had carefully protected myself, so I wasn't seriously injured. Still, I bit my lip and created a few more scratches on my body, then went to the hospital for a medical examination. As soon as the examination results were out, I wasted no time in filing a case. On my way back, my parents learned about Marcus's actions from Uncle and asked me what I thought now. I hadn't expected Uncle to react this way, but considering he had been eyeing my family's investment money and pushed Marcus into the specific live-in marriage arrangement before, it wasn't hard to understand. Before, when they saw Marcus living a wild lifestyle outside, they all urged me to divorce him. But I was blinded by love, unwilling to let go. I was their only daughter, and my parents were capable, so no matter what happened, they could always support me. They didn't force me to divorce Marcus, but they did advise me occasionally. When I told them I was divorcing Marcus, they were overjoyed, saying I was finally freeing myself from this misery. I was happy too. For 3 years, I had constantly worried my parents, and now, I could finally put their minds at ease. Before my smile faded, the door abruptly opened to reveal a swollen face, which startled me. Only when she spoke did I realize it was Daisy. "You bitch. Were you the one who framed me? Did you send those videos?" I had originally planned to gloss over it, but seeing the bottle in her hand, I decided to outsmart her instead. "It wasn't me. Marcus came to find me first, and he hit me too. Look at these injuries on my face and body, he did this. If I really framed you, how could he let me off? In his heart, you're much more important than I am. Honestly, even though I don't know what videos you're talking about, I really didn't do anything. I just want to get my divorce certificate quietly and leave. I don't believe you'd be willing to give that up." "There's nothing to give up. I was married to him for 3 years, and for 3 years he was living a wild lifestyle outside, making me the subject of gossip. My ideal marriage isn't like that. But he's different with you. He's indifferent to me, and those women he messed around with were just fleeting encounters. Only you, he let you carry his child, and he brought you home. I've seen it clearly these past 3 years. How could I possibly frame you? I just want him to not cause any more trouble so I can get a smooth divorce." She believed me and put the bottle down. "Do you want to go to the hospital? I can take you." "No, I don't look presentable like this." "Then let me help you go rest. You're pregnant, after all." She nodded in agreement. It seemed she really was foolish. Her little tricks were only enough to deceive Marcus, that man. But looking at myself, who knows if Marcus would treat her the same way in a few years. I learned that Uncle had disowned Marcus even before Marcus did. When returned and saw Daisy and me getting along, he suddenly went into a frenzy, charging and ready to strike. Daisy had just been beaten by someone, and she was furious. Moreover, Marcus tried to hit her too, so she struck first before I did. Daisy and I were both angry and held nothing back, fighting almost to a draw. Marcus got the short end of the stick and felt intimidated, quickly begging for mercy. Daisy vented her anger, then hugged Marcus and cried, saying Uncle had beaten her. Marcus noticed Daisy's face and rushed to confront Uncle, but Daisy held him back. "Daisy, it's all my fault. I was just furious a moment ago, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Come, lie down, don't move, get some good rest. Grace, go get a basin of water. Look closely, we haven't even gotten our divorce certificate yet, and you've already hit me twice today." Marcus, at least tried to act like a decent human being. Although my face wasn't as swollen as Daisy's, I wasn't much better off. Having been hit twice in one day, I went to the courthouse again to report the situation. They arranged for an examination and fast-tracked the court hearing. When I returned, Marcus was nowhere to be found, and Daisy was resting in her room. I returned to the guest bedroom, closed the door, and managed to contact a few thugs. I told them to ambush Marcus and beat him up, promising more money for a harder beating. Of course, I didn't directly contact the thugs who would do the beating. I contacted a middleman, and the payment was in cash, which I left in a specific location for them to retrieve. That night, I learned that Marcus had been beaten so badly he couldn't get up, lying in an alleyway with no surveillance camera. The next day, when he returned, I stayed in the guest bedroom, keeping the door locked. Daisy didn't know what had happened until she saw him and realized he had been severely beaten. She screamed and quickly urged him to go to the hospital. Perhaps she touched Marcus's wounds, because he violently shoved Daisy away. Unprepared, Daisy hit her head on the corner of a table and then tripped to the ground. She was still pregnant. I had miscarried once after being tripped in a similar way, so I couldn't bear it. I opened the door to check on Daisy. Of course, I knew this would turn his aggression onto me, but Daisy's provocations towards me had always been minor, not severe enough for me to heartlessly ignore her in this situation. I grabbed a few books to use as a shield and rushed out to check on Daisy. Seeing blood around her lower body, I disregarded everything else, helped her up, and prepared to take her to the hospital. Marcus completely ignored the current situation, only wanting to vent his anger with his fists. Daisy couldn't withstand another punch, so I had to take them. And since I couldn't let go of her, I could only passively endure the blows. Fortunately, the police arrived to arrest Marcus and save us, recording evidence of his assault. Marcus was taken away, and Daisy and I were also sent to the hospital. Daisy's situation was better than mine. The baby was saved, but it was still very precarious. Daisy's condition wasn't good. The baby couldn't hold on for 2 days and was lost. I thought, perhaps this was Marcus's karma. He couldn't keep any child. Since the case was quite serious, the courthouse processed it quickly. When was discharged from the hospital, she said she wanted to testify for me, to repay me for protecting her. Although there was already irrefutable evidence, I tried to dissuade her, but she still appeared at the hearing and testified on my behalf. With testimony, the evidence was further corroborated. Given the severity of the assault, he was sentenced to 7 years. After he was sentenced, Daisy also said she wanted to leave, claiming she didn't owe me anything. I also seized this opportunity to quickly get my divorce certificate and moved back into my parents' home. Seeing me return, they were all very relieved, saying that I had overcome a major hurdle in life on my own, and from then on, it would be smooth sailing. Even Robert, who had disowned Marcus, immediately called me to say that he had cut ties with Marcus, closed all of Marcus's bank cards, and even helped me deal with the woman who had brazenly moved in. Of course, we all knew what he meant. My father told him that since Marcus and I were divorced, there was no need for further contact. However, because Uncle had cut ties with Marcus to show his support for me, my father gave him another investment, considering it a clean break between our families. He had always been a sensible man, so he quickly thanked my father and said he wouldn't bother us again. Since had no family and hadn't hired a lawyer, there was no one to bring him toiletries. So, he was escorted by correctional officers to retrieve his belongings. However, I heard that he had escaped custody. Upon hearing this news, my parents insisted I stay home and wouldn't allow me to go out. Truthfully, having witnessed Marcus's actions, I certainly wouldn't go out asking for trouble. They were just worried sick. The next morning at breakfast, a friend told me news about Marcus. After escaping, he actually sought out Daisy. He had somehow found out that Daisy's ex-boyfriend was also named Marcus, and that the child was that Marcus's, not his. I don't know what he was thinking, but he took a knife and went to find Daisy. After they met, he accidentally stabbed her. Originally, the stab wounds weren't fatal, but Daisy had just had a miscarriage, her body was weak, and she didn't survive. Her life ended at Marcus's hands. He had committed another crime and was hiding even more. After a few days of hiding, he appeared outside my window. When I saw him, I felt fear for the first time and immediately called the police. I suddenly understood that my clumsy attempts at revenge were utterly insignificant compared to him. Grace, don't be afraid. I just want to talk to you. I won't come in, I'll just talk to you like this. Actually, I've liked you since high school. After that, I often chatted with you, introduced you to my circle, and also made sure to appear in front of your friends with you. When I found out you liked me too, you have no idea how happy I was. That day, I sat on the rooftop all night, unable to suppress my joy. But I was afraid of scaring you off, so I always held back, maintaining a subtle distance, until we got married. Even though my marriage was a specific live-in arrangement, and your friends didn't gossip about me, that feeling of imbalance within me suddenly surged. making me clearly realize that I wasn't worthy of you. No matter how much I liked you, I just wasn't good enough for you. So I indulged in fleeting pleasures, in scenarios that made that feeling of unworthiness disappear, and gradually, I started treating you badly. I just couldn't control myself until I made a huge mistake. And then I suddenly realized, I know I'm no longer worthy of being compared to you. Now, even though I regret it so much, I wish I could die right now. I just want to really look at you during this last bit of freedom I have. He finished speaking, and just quietly stared at me. But in my heart, there was only fear. I didn't dare move, afraid he might be provoked into doing something else I couldn't control. I stared at him like that for who knows how long, perhaps only a few minutes, until the police finally arrived. He didn't struggle, just gave me one last look. Thanks for watching today's story. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your views, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.